you know, I watch tons of TV shows, and you know, it's like Dream On. You've never seen Dream On, you gotta watch Dream On. It's like TV raised me. I learned a lot watching TV, but you know, I always hate it when I like a show and I get into it and it just goes ass. It just goes real bad. You could tell when they were doing too much. Like Three's Company. It was fine. It was funny. It was the shit. And then Chrissy left. Then they brought in Cindy and Terry. Now, they were hot, but it wasn't the same, though. You know, Janet was still the best. She had things. I think Mr. Furley and Mr. Roper were washes because both was entertaining. You know, I'm pro Roper though, because the looks he get at camera and when his wife is saying shit and he's talking slick to her is classic. But it jumped the shark. You know, it got bad when Chrissy left and they brought in Cindy. You know, they always try to replace a major character with someone that acted like the one that's gone. Like on Alice, they had Flo with the Kiss My Grits, and then she left. Shouts to Polly Holiday. And then they replaced her with Belle, and she tried to shoehorn butter my biscuits as a catchphrase. Nobody wanted to hear that shit. Head of the class, shouts to Robin Givens. They Howard Hessman left and they brought in whack ass Billy Connolly. Cosby Show, when Rudy started to get old and she grew that dope Ray Parker Jr. mustache. She's looking like Lando. They brought in Olivia, which was, you know, kind of cool because she was so cute, but you could tell it was almost over. Oh, and no shout outs to Dabness, and no shout outs to Cousin Pam, and all of those people, and stupid Winnie and Nelson. Yeah, it was about over. And like, you know, with Winnie and Nelson, anytime they bring in kids on shows, Andrew on Family Ties, Stupid Kid on Growing Pains, whack ass, I'm sorry, no, whack ass Countess Vaughn on 227, little punk ass little Richie on Family Matters, who's also destroying Young and the Restless right now. The worst though has to be Sam on Different Strokes. Nobody likes Sam on Different Strokes. Fuck Sam on Different Strokes. And if I never want to hear anybody say Mr. D again.
Mr. D?
Now, shows also started to get, you know, whack when the main characters hooked up. You know, like on Who's the Boss, Angela got with Tony, and on Cheers when Sam and Diane got together. Of course, Moonlighting, even Dwayne and Whitley. We don't need, you know, the happy endings. They don't have to, you know, be together. Let them just, you know, be frustrated and beat off camera. And then you had the very special episodes on a very special blossom. On Punky Brewster when Cherry got stuck in the fridge. Henry was a pill head. Old girl Paula couldn't read. Family Ties. Steven had a heart attack. Alex was a pill head. And of course, Uncle Ned off the vanilla extract. Oh, and the Black Neighbor show when they had a black neighbor and everybody was losing their shit. Family Matters, the Squash It gang violence show. When Carl had the heart attack. When everybody at school found out Eddie was a virgin. Jesus. But different strokes led the league in very special shows. Of course, you got the bike shop, the drugs at Arnold School, the Nancy Reagan show. When Kim was bulimic. This was very special for a different reason. When Sam got kidnapped, that was the greatest shit. They tried to change his name. That was hilarious. He should have been at the bike shop too. That was wrong, and I'm not sorry. When Arnold was faking the seizure, and then the girl had a seizure for real. That was all right. I shouldn't laugh at that. Welcome Back, Kotter. I love that show. When Horshack almost got hooked on the pills because Freddie told him they were vitamins. It was mad pill popping people on these shows. The caffeine pills on Saved by the Bell, of course. Not to mention when Becky the Duck was killed by an oil spill on Saved by the Bell. Carlton, he took the speed when he thought it was acne medicine. He started fucking it up with the dances. I hate when the shows that I like just get whacked. Roseanne winning the lottery, and then that stupid ass finale. It was a story, or she was writing it. Who the fuck knows? Heroes had no idea what they were doing. Period. It was like, all right, we got some powers. Now we don't have any powers. This guy's bad. No, he's not bad. We're going to introduce you to these three people, and you're not going to see them again. They had no idea. Alias, one of my favorite shows of all time. The first two, 3 seasons, incredible. And then they stopped with the double life thing and started talking about that Rimbaldi mess, ruined the whole show. I can go on and on, but I got a lot of stuff to talk with my guest today. So today's show is when shows and other things we love jump to shark. I'll be joined by Howie Decker from the UnderscoopFire website and podcast, a former guest of the EDP. That was the TGIF versus Must See TV episode. So we'll be talking about all of that and a bunch of other more shit after this.
We'll be right back.
Wednesday, you'll meet a one-legged hero who's running across Canada on Real People. And on the 1-hour season premiere of Different Strokes, Arnold needs cash for his date with Tootie. This is a holdup, and Arnold is held hostage. Then teeth marks are the only clue to 2 bizarre rapes on the season premiere of Quincy. Right after Real People and Different Strokes Wednesday.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Eclectic Discussion Podcast. Hashtag EDP. Never mind all that. Today, I would like to introduce my guest. It's a reoccurring guest. It's the Black Lion of the UnderscoopFire Voltron. He's the founder, CEO, chief, head muckety muck of UnderscoopFire.com. The swinging deck, porn star from the movie How We Decked Your Mother, aka Dwight Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, Howie Decker.
Always a pleasure, always an honor to square off with the King Zarkon of the UnderscoopFire Podcast.
That is true.
And I think I'm just as confused as Dwight Howard on what team I want to be on this fall.
I mean, you have to get that on a sweatshirt or something. Dwight Howard.
I haven't dressed up for Halloween in 4 years since I was the last Halloween I dressed up. That Halloween, my wife informed me that she was pregnant with our only child. So I'll always remember this. But we were going out that night, and we had no costumes. And at the last minute, we decided to go as the board game Clue. And everybody just wore all one color of the different colors. And I went to Target and bought like a $15 velour purple suit jacket. And I was Professor Plum.
That is awesome.
Why did I just tell that story? Oh, Dwight Howard. So anyway, A couple Halloweens later, I was looking for a Halloween costume, and I thought, how funny would it be to see my skinny, white, non-jacked frame in a full Dwight Howard Orlando Magic uniform with the 2 arm bands, like the Megatron guns.
Yes.
But they would be all like big and saggy because my arms are so skinny. So yeah, I probably would have got Dwight on the back if I had done that.
Yeah.
Or I should.
Yeah.
I can't now.
Oh, sure you can.
I'd have to buy 32 jerseys.
That is true. Oh, we just get some Velcro fronts.
Yes. Tear it off like Ocho Cinco. Tear off the nameplate.
Exactly. Now look, you're back by popular demand. According to the listener survey on eclectikrelaxation.com, plug. A lot of people want you back on the show from the TGIF versus must-see TV show. And I have news that you don't even know.
Really? I heard that literally tens of people were clamoring for my return.
They were clamoring. They were rabbling. They were doing the Chinese typewriter across my timeline on Twitter. But also, the previous show, now look, no pressure, the previous show that you were on is now the most downloaded episode of the EDP.
No, it's not.
It is too.
Does it count? Is that because it counts the 13 times a day that I download it?
Well, it might. As of recording time, it has been downloaded over 1,500 times.
I have bought 1,100 new iPods just so I could set up new iTunes accounts to download it more and more. So that might explain it.
The plan works.
I've gone into complete bankruptcy, chapter 14, because of trying to be the number one. That's a true honor, man. You had Spinderella on your show.
Yes, I had Spinderella. I had me. You know,
I'm so tweeting her tomorrow and saying and talking shit to her. She's gonna be like, "Who is this ass clown?"
And I'm gonna write a song about you.
I'm gonna say F your Grammy. I got the EDP Grammy, the Dick Slammy.
The Dick Slammy, the Klecky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm sorry that this one's going to disappoint, and we'll probably top out at 17 downloads, but that's not your fault.
Absolutely.
That's because we'll have now learned after downloading the first one that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe we can fool them again, though.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
All right.
Today's topic is Jump the Shark. When our favorite things, most notably television shows, but we might extend it to other things in pop culture. When they jumped the shark, when they went bad, coined by John Hine, taken from the Happy Days episode in which Arthur Fonzarelli literally jumped a shark. And ever since then, the show went downhill. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, Mr. Deck, what are your feelings on this topic?
Well, first of all, way to give props to John Hine for coining it. Again, living up to your billing as the Vin Scully of podcasting. You are research.
Yeah, the guy rocks.
You could probably tell us what John Hine had for lunch today, but that would just be showing off, and I appreciate that.
Yes, even though he does have his show where he goes to all the fast food places, so it's up in the air what he actually had today.
Now, I'm assuming that John Hine is well-to-do due to coining this phrase, because if you now go visit jumptheshark.com, it just takes you to tvguide.com.
Well, yes, because he sold the website to TV Guide, who then ruined the entire website.
They absolutely ruined it, and that's what I was going to say. I kept putting it into my browser again, saying, "What's the problem here? Why does it keep going?" Because when you do land on the TV Guide page, tvguide.com/jumptheshark, there's nothing. There's like a small box, and it makes like it gives you all these options. Like, what were the births or the divorces that made a show jump the shark? And you click, and it doesn't take you to anything.
No.
But it did occur to me, the guy that coined it must have sold to TV Guide, and they totally. I mean, why would they? I don't know.
Yeah, he had a built-in audience. The website had everything.
See, I never went to it. I didn't even think to do it until very recently, and yeah, it's garbage now. TV Guide ruined it.
Yeah, it used to rock. Supposedly, he sold it for somewhere around $10 million, though.
Wow. Yeah.
So he's sitting around with his buddies and says, you know, that's when shows went bad. I'm going to do a website. Yada, 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 shouts to Seinfeld. $10 million.
God. So for lunch today, he had a golden grilled cheese and a bottle of Fuck Everybody.
Yes. Now, you know, he is of a bigger carriage guy, so it might be diet Fuck Everybody.
At least he's watching his nutrition.
Yeah.
Trying to trim back the calories.
Maybe instead of diet Fuck Everybody, he had NutraSweet just a tip.
Maybe he did have some NutraSweet. Wow, I can't top that. Let's move on.
Well, yeah, but John Hine does have a show called Fast Food Mania now, where he goes to places like KFC and Whataburger and Chick-fil A and just reviews what's going down.
Don't you wish that you were, ambitious enough to take your talent and just keep doing new things like that, and just when you get a good one, sell it to somebody and move on and do. I mean, that guy, his whole life, he's made a living off TV shows and fast food.
Yeah, and now he has that show, and I think he was even a speaker at Comic-Con. And on top of that, he has a regular job on the Howard Stern show.
Oh, wow. Now, quickly about Chick-fil-A. I used to live in South Carolina where we had Chick-fil-A, and where I live now, we do not. And yeah, exactly. And I'll get the ESPN always has the Sonic commercials. And they're showing them during WWE Raw now, too. And it was always such a tease because Sonic was one of my favorites down there. But Chick-fil-A, I never really, they don't have like a national, promotion. The only time you really see it is if you watch like a SEC football game on a Saturday. But now I have wanted Chick-fil-A something fierce for the last 10 days. If that damn CEO could have kept his mouth shut about gay marriage, I wouldn't have to be teased by all this Chick-fil-A coverage. All I want is the damn number 4 with an 8-pack. Some waffle fries and a sweet tea.
Yeah, growing up in Ohio, shouts to Ohio, we always had Chick-fil-A. It was in the mall, and so I used to go, when I'm little, waffle fries, that is the whole thing. And then when I moved, I found out that other people didn't have it. Now, where I'm at now, we have it, and just to make you feel better, Mr. Decker, here in the D.C. metropolitan area, there is such things as Chick-fil-A food trucks.
I've seen, you guys have tweeted the pictures of it, and it just makes me want to punch Twitter.
Yeah. So what they should do is just park right outside of McDonald's. Like, this is what we're doing.
You know what? And I don't know where Classic would fall on this, but shout outs to warm mayonnaise that they have at Chick-fil-A. Just sitting there by the napkins and straws. I'm from the camp that mayonnaise has to be refrigerated, but warm mayonnaise.
Yeah, you would think that mayonnaise is probably living in some form or fashion.
I think there's sea monkeys in it.
Yes. Now you could get warm Chick-fil-A mayonnaise if you send 14 proofs of purchases or points from the back of your Kool-Aid packages.
Yeah.
You can get those.
Yeah, I think it's Ripley's I Can't Believe It's Dead mayonnaise.
Yes.
Send in your EDP points to redeem. That's what you got, EDP points, right, for repeat listeners?
Yeah. They're just EDPs, eclectic discussion points. So
okay.
You can redeem those for I Can't Believe It's Not Sperm.
I'm saving mine up for a Sergeant Slaughter figure.
Oh, well, yeah, that is fine. Now, I do have a Leaping Lenny Poffo with battle armor.
Does he come with the Does he come with the Frisbees from when he was the poet?
Lanny Poffo has a poem for us all.
Hercules Hernandez is a mountain of a man. His body is impervious to pain. But all his big decisions he is leaving up to Heenan. That indicates he doesn't have a brain. You're questioning my sanity for facing such a man. I realize that he is awfully big. But I came here to fight the odds and score a victory. That ought to make Ventura flip his wig. Whoa, baby!
Ladies and gentlemen, the opponent.
Yes.
All right, I'll take one. I'll save for that.
Yeah. Shout outs to the Poffos. Oh yeah, we're doing a show. So, Jump the Shark. Really good shows that jump the shark. What are some of the worst offenses in your Howie Decker mind?
In my mind, in the mind of a married man, that is not the first show I'm going to mention. Well, you already mentioned Happy Days, but I submit that Happy Days did not actually jump the shark when Arthur Fonzarelli jumped a shark. Dun, dun, dun. I say, when Fonzie got hired as a high school teacher, this being a former gang leader and a great mechanic, what business does he have teach? I mean, cars weren't breaking down anymore. They don't need mechanics. He's just gonna trade that in for probably a lower paying, more stressful job.
Hey, Pinky Tuscadero has to eat.
That apparently doesn't do background checks. So yeah, Fonzie as a high school teacher, I mean, they just wanted to get him like interacting with more people and the young crowd because everybody was leaving Richie, and I don't know, Fonzie as a high school teacher. Dukes of Hazzard jumped the shit out of the shark when Bo and Luke left, and they replaced him with Coy and Vance.
It ain't like they just up and left us high and dry here. They didn't take that job now until they was sure Coy and Vance would be along here to give us a hand.
Still, nobody could be like what one Luke. I mean,
Of course not. But listen, Coy and Vance, they just can't be ordinary people. Coy got to be a test driver up there in Detroit. Now, you got to be somebody to do that. And Vance, he was moving right up in the Merchant Marine before they decided to throw in together. Now listen, them two's got Duke blood in their veins. And having that, they're going to be something special. You wait and see.
What the hell?
You just tuned in one day and said,
Coy and Vance. All of season 9 of Roseanne. Was that the season where they won the lottery, and then they're now help me remember, did they move into like a better house, or did they just totally pimp out their shit house?
No, I think the shit house stayed shit house. Now, the thing about the Roseanne show, did you see the finale?
Yeah, wasn't it all a dream because she was a writer or something?
Well, see, that's
or it was all a part of her writing?
Yeah, but the thing is, was all of it the writing,
right,
or was part of it? They said maybe she just made up the millionaire part, and then Dan was dead, and
yeah,
Jesus,
a total shame because it was one of my favorite shows growing up, and the reason it was is because it was so relatable. Because, and you and I have had the spam discussion before, we were not a family of means, and we had, like, Roseanne was like, I mean, we were significantly less loud and trashy, but we could relate to the setting of it a little bit, and it was like, that was the appeal of it. And then, the season 9 just completely went away from that, and then just, I don't know, yeah, just mindfucky at the end.
Oh, not to mention two Beckys interchanging.
Yes. The one thing I will say is they always referenced that and sort of copped to it and made references to it and made jokes about it. And then that even carried on into like Scrubs when like Sarah Chalk would always make jokes about that.
Yeah.
That's one of the few character changes that I feel like didn't didn't take part in a shark jumping because of the way they handled it, and they always sort of made fun of it.
And wasn't Roseanne's sister, didn't she go gay or something, but not really?
Did she? I think, now that you say that, I remember Crystal, her blonde friend. Didn't she? That reminds me that maybe she was a lesbian or something, or was she always? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know they all worked at like a plastic factory, so.
Yeah, and Martin Mull was on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Plum.
There you go.
Or was he Colonel Mustard? He was Colonel Mustard in the Clue movie.
Nevertheless, synergy. This is how we bring it back around.
Now, the last season of All in the Family was a shark jump fest when Meathead left, so they brought in. It was like, he used to verbally spar with Meathead, and the back and forth was to die for. So let's bring in a 6-year-old girl, and that'll be the same.
I think that was exactly the same. Now that wasn't the same season as Almost Edith Rape, was it?
I don't know. There's a lot of uncomfortable rapes and almost rapes in later on. I don't want to get into them yet. I think we're gonna spend some time on special episodes, and there's a lot.
Yeah, we'll hit Almost Edith Rape a little bit later.
What are you gonna do? You ain't taking off your clothes, are you?
Yeah. Then I'm gonna take yours off.
Wouldn't you like a cup of coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
I got Sanka.
Lady is stolen, and it ain't gonna do you any good. And this is gonna happen.
Hashtag Almost Edith Rape. I gotta say, Olivia joining the Cosby Show because Rudy wasn't cute enough anymore.
And she had one incredible mustache.
Yes, she did. Raleigh Fingers-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I thought Magnum P.I. was on that show for a while.
Now, I said earlier that besides the Willie Tyler and Lester mustache that she grew, Olivia was cute.
Yeah.
But she wasn't necessarily needed. But one of the bigger offenses was Cousin Pam and Dabness Bricky and Elvin and the stupid babies that they had. But yes, I agree with you. Olivia was the beginning of the end.
He was clearly brought in to serve that purpose to fill where Cliff used to have the conversations with well, first before I lose this train of thought, I hesitate to say that bringing in Raven-Symoné is their jump the shark because what they were trying to do was smart. Bill Cosby is hands down the funniest adult to ever interact with kids.
Definitely.
The stuff he gets out of them and just the it's so natural and just hilarious. So, again, like you said, it's not like she was awful. It's just she wasn't necessary.
Yeah, we saw through it.
Yeah, exactly. And then his banter with Elvin was fine. It looked like it was just what they were trying to recapture the conversations that were had with his son in early seasons. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of a kid that I cannot give a pass to, that we can maybe let Raven-Symoné slide a little bit is
Corey Chapman.
Well, one of his favorite shows, when Brian Bonsall, aka Andy Keaton, joined Family Ties. Now, it gave us one of the greatest sitcom moments of all time, and that was a tortured by having two sisters, constantly outnumbered Alex when Elise gives birth and they yell out, "It's a boy," and he drops to his knees and goes, "Yes!"
Yeah.
That is still one of the like a sitcom moment I'll never forget. But then from there on out, it sucked. Yeah. And I say that Family Ties, their shark jumping, I like to call the Triple A.
The triple A.
Yep. Andy, amphetamines, and alcoholism. Because there was Andy, there was the pills that Alex was taking to stay up and study on the very special episode.
Definitely.
And there was Tom Hanks.
Vanilla time.
Drinking vanilla extract. Now, I don't know. We can't really call them jump the shark moments, but they were definitely uncomfortable and made you think, did they really need... What happened to my funny 30 minutes that you promised me every week at this time?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we did have a little Courtney Cox action on there for you.
Yeah. Dallas, when Bobby Ewing just pops out of the shower and negates the whole season.
Yeah, people were up in arms about that.
And then Dynasty trying to copy him. I still remember being like 9 or 10 years old, and my parents were watching the Dynasty season finale, and the whole cast was at a wedding. And these terrorists just pop in who had never been incorporated in any other aspect of the show and just shoot up the entire place. And the last scene is every single cast member just laying there, like face down, dead.
I never got gaffled like that. I used to do the gaffling.
And you're just led to believe like everyone's dead or who's going to make it. And I never even, we never checked back in after that. But
oh, you never checked back in. Well, really quick.
Update me.
Yeah, after the assassin terrorists went through and shot everybody, Chloe set up a perimeter, and Jack Bauer got down to where they were, and he and President Palmer caught the people.
It was Tony Almeida. He went rogue, right?
He did.
And now he, ironically, is on the new Dallas.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we bring it all
Synergy.
around. This is synergy, and we're not talking twisting our earring and turning into punk rockers.
No, this is not Gem.
No.
We are not the misfit.
But we're gonna get you.
That's right. And we are outrageous.
Totally.
Was the new Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince shark jumping, or could you live with that?
I think I could live with that. What I couldn't live with was hot air balloon head Nikki. Wasn't that
Yes, Nikki was awful.
Yeah, I think that was the jump the shark moment.
Absolutely. And again, not every kid joining a show is bad, because Cosby was always great interacting with kids, and sometimes they give us good moments, but on that one it never needed a kid. It never had a kid, and it never needed a kid.
Not at all.
Yeah. And then my last one is a drama from Fox when in X-Files, when they brought in T2 to replace Fox Mulder.
Oh.
Mulder was the show. And
that is officially his name, T2?
Yeah, Robert Patrick. He changed it to T2 in the 90s, capitalizing. But yeah, I mean, the show is about it. It's like if William Catt left The Greatest American Hero and they brought in like. That's a good one. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah. And ever since you brought up Dallas with Patrick Duffy, I can't. I keep thinking about Scuzzlebut.
What's that? Is that a step-by-step reference?
No, Scuzzlebut is a monster on South Park who has well.
Did you tell me this? Did you tell me about something from South Park the last time I was on, or am I having like a mega deja vu right now?
I don't remember.
I'm having an on-air moment. I might be stroking out right now. I think I'm having a stroke.
When I start making love, I don't just make love, I be stroking. That's what I be doing. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west. I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
On air.
It's two tissue show. Oh, that kind of stroke.
Yeah, no, a real medical. Keep rolling though. When the
Okay.
EMTs get here, I want everybody to hear it all.
Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be the highest rated show. The death of Howie Decker.
On-air stroke.
Yes, but Scuzzlebut is a misunderstood creature who has a celery arm, and his arm is a piece of celery, and his I think his left leg is actually Patrick Duffy.
Deformed how? Well, on his left arm, instead of a hand, he has a hook, a knife. No, a piece of celery. Celery? Yes, and he walks with a limp because one of his legs is missing. And where his leg should be, there's nothing but Patrick Duffy.
You definitely told me this before. Let's send everybody back that downloaded to download it again and listen to it.
Yes.
Get it to 3,000 in one night to go back. And the first person who finds where he already told me this story wins more ED points.
That's right.
EDPs.
Yeah, EDP.
It might have been off air one of the times you were on UnderscoopFire or something, but I swear this has come up before because that exact celery arm and the Duffy leg I've heard about.
Yeah, he walks with a limp because one of his legs is missing, and where his leg should be, there's nothing but Patrick Duffy.
Oh, Jayla cried.
Yes. So yeah, that's
excellent.
That's Scuzzlebut. Sir, we discussed really good shows that jumped the shark, and those were some terrible offenses. And I can't get the stupid look of Roseanne's face when she was at their typewriter, and it just looked weird. But what about shows that jumped the shark but then jumped back to good? Like they went awful, and then something happened, and they were good again.
Yeah, that's a good question because almost everything that we just mentioned happened at the very end of the run and sort of the show was already dead and it was a failed attempt to re-inject life, or it was the nail in the coffin. I had a hard time with this, and the only thing that I could come up with, and it actually works for pretty much every single one of them in history, is soap operas. In General Hospital, at one point, there was some evil people who their plot was to freeze the world.
What?
Yeah, and it was obviously foiled because the world, remains unfrozen, and it went on for, it's been on for 20 years since. So it obviously got back to good enough for people to like it, and it's one of the few soaps that's still on the air. But that's got to be a plot to freeze the world has to be a shark jump, but they obviously recovered from it. And then Days of Our Lives, when Marlena was like the dead lady in white or whatever.
Oh, shout out to Maison Blanc.
Exactly. Every single soap opera has at some point jumped the shark, but they obviously, the ones that are still on, which aren't very many, have obviously recovered from it.
Yeah,
but
as long
I had a
as
hard
the
time.
Phoenix is still around.
Exactly.
Which I heard now he's actually dead.
Oh,
Stefano is actually dead
now. Does he have an offspring carrying on his Peter or Kristen or somebody carrying on his legacy?
I think so. But I stopped watching it for a while because, I'm a Young and the Restless guy. But you see how gangster I am. But yeah, I heard that he's dead. He got shot in the back of the head.
Oh my.
Yeah.
See, I haven't watched Days in days. No, it's been probably 10 years, but I don't know. Did you have any that stick out for you here that shows that jumped and then got good again?
Well, I think A Different World jumped when Denise left, but it jumped back, with the emphasis on Dwayne and Whitley.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely did right the ship because everybody sort of wrote them off.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Let me think. Well, no, The Wire just jumped in my opinion, so I can't use that.
Well, I guess Lost jumped every single episode and then jumped back because I watched every episode.
Well, I will say it flashed back, but it didn't jump.
No, if anybody could argue, if someone tried to argue with me that when they showed a flashback of Hurley in the mental ward and his island girlfriend, I forget her name now.
Oh, yeah.
Was there.
Mm-hmm.
She was there, and they never explained it, and it never got brought up again. That will always bother me.
Yeah, because she
everything
was in the
else,
back. She was sitting to his right behind him, and she was looking disheveled, and they never.
Right. And it even kind of the look on her face was even kind of like she knew what she was doing, or she was there like for him, or like, there was something to it. Not just coincidental that they used to be in the same place together, but it was definitely like a look like she was supposed to be there and that she knew who he was or something. And it just, but no, I agree. It didn't jump. I was bought into the end.
And for those of you listening, coming soon is a eclectik Lost cast. We're gonna review each season of Lost.
So each ep.
We're gonna start with season 1, and we're gonna run through it. One of the other things about Lost, and of course we're gonna cover this on eclectik Lost, is the stewardess that was with the others, and they never explained how she just, 1, survived, and 2, why did she just join up with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pissed me off.
Mm-hmm. So much. Just, yeah.
All right. Let's go to worst case or worst cases of a new character joining the show, making the show suck.
Has anyone in the history of the world been a fan of or liked Sam?
Danny.
Different Strokes.
Listen.
Danny Cooksey.
No one.
No one. Have you ever met anyone ever who was like, A, that show got better when he joined, or B, I can even barely stand him and he was fine, I didn't mind it? No, everyone hates that kid.
Like, so bad, I already knew what you were gonna say.
Right.
I just didn't want to step over, because even the way the little fucktard says Mr. D.
Mr. D?
Shut up.
Just a little ginger bastard.
Yeah, just grab his face and shove it into a light socket.
Mr. D?
I remember being a kid and just thinking, with his name being Cooksey and all the freckles, that he was just a cookie. He was like a human cookie. And his face was like a fucking cookie with chips and just sticks. Just a little fucking cookie face. Fuck.
Mr. D?
But I didn't even want to call him Cookie Face because that reminded me of Cookie Puss from Carvel, and I love me some Cookie Puss. And Fudgy the Whale. But Danny Cooksey can fuck himself.
It's a pecan sandy face.
Fudgy the Whale up, Danny Cooksey down.
Yes. Oh
my God. That's the UnderscoopFire version of G's up, hose down.
That is incredibly gangster.
Fudgy the Whale up, Danny Cooksey down.
Wow.
The Great Gazoo on the Flintstones was pretty unnecessary.
Come on. I like the Great Gazoo.
You like him? I guess his actual little banter and his adventures with Fred weren't bad, but I just don't get, like, is that a complete acid trip or just did they just do like 14 pounds of cocaine and say, like, I mean, because what? It just doesn't make any, they could have put any little dinosaur, they could have put anything at all as Fred's new little sidekick. And plus, did he really need a he had one of the top 5 sidekicks of all time in Barney Rubble. Yeah, that's like giving Han Solo a new,
I will say this. I did like Great Gazoo, but I cannot argue that could have been when the show jumped the shark.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
I submit to you, Leonardo DiCaprio, growing pains.
Yeah, I know. They just started slapping people on that show. Like they had the Chrissy, the daughter was born. They had DiCaprio. They had the entire the coach, who then was the star of Just the Cause. I mean, they just started slapping everybody on there. They had Tracy Gold's boyfriend, Sandy, who I like to call Chandy because it was Matthew Perry.
Chandy.
Later to be mentioned in our very special episode segment. Yeah, that just... I mean, how do you feel about Oliver on the Brady Bunch? Did you root for it?
Of course, Oliver. Now, I got a controversial one for you. What about Jefferson Darcy?
You know, in doing some research about shark jumping, and I'm sure this is where you're going with this, it is said that he is like the death knell for a show. Like he signifies jumping, that the shark has been jumped.
The Ted McGinley curse.
The Ted McGinley coefficient.
Yes.
Yeah, the McGinley theory. So, you know, I got no problem with Jefferson Darcy. I
like Steve. Steve kicked ass.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And Marcy was just so clearly a lesbian that the fact she had a husband, or two for that matter, was just funny in itself.
Good point. But yeah, old Ted, he ever since Stanley Gable, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. Number 50 on the UnderscoopFire Top 50 Movies of All Time list. Cheap plug. Chips. When Bruce Jenner replaced Larry Wilcox.
Oh, you said Chip. I thought you were talking Kate Nally's little boy.
Oh, yeah. Shout outs to Safety Scissoring.
Yes. But yes, Chip. Callbacks galore, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a pre-Kardashian Bruce Jenner. Isn't Bruce Jenner he's the Kardashian father now, right?
Yes, he's also the white tiger of Grambling.
Never mind. That poor guy, Jenner. I feel the same way for him as I felt for Nick Lachey on Newlyweds. When you're just surrounded by stupidity, and you can tell that despite their celebrity, that these are just normal guys, and they're just like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? And you see it a lot on these shows where there's like one sane person that you immediately gravitate to and can relate to.
True. Okay, how about this? Did Three's Company jump the shark, and did it jump back?
If it jumped the shark, it absolutely jumped back.
Yeah, because now you could say no Chrissy, Cindy, and Terry jumped the shark. But then you also got to sprinkle in the Furley and Roper factor.
Exactly. Yeah, it offsets, because as great as Norman Fell was as Mr. Roper, and how great Mrs. Roper was, Furley was just completely changed the game. And Chrissy leaving, was a big blow, and it gave that awkward season where she had to film her scenes separately, and all it was her calling in and giving them updates. She was out of town, and Cindy was but Terry was awesome. Okay. And they broke the they kind of went against the grain a bit, and instead of just with Cindy, they just said we need another dumb blonde. To the point where even I think it was Chrissy's cousin. But with Terry, it was like, oh, let's make her smart and successful and career driven, and let's have her give Jack everything back that he gives them. And it was awesome. To me, it completely carried on. So if it did jump, it jumped back, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm down with that. Figured I'd ask. As a huge fan of Mr. Dallas.
Oh yeah, Larry Dallas. Absolutely. The wingman of the century.
Yes. Okay. So, worst case of pregnancy or a new baby ruining a show?
lots of new babies came along in these shows that we love so much. And some of the annoying ones that I can remember are Nikki and Alex on Full House. Partly because, seriously, more twins? I mean, we get that the Olsen twins weren't twins on the show, but they were just completely associated with it. Mm-hmm. So it just seemed like there was two sets of twins on screen, even though there wasn't. Because at that point, everybody knew the Olsens were twins. So it just kind of gave a stigma to the show that the house was even fuller than it needed to be.
Hey, I see what you did there.
And Jesse was no longer a ladies' man. I mean, even when he was just dating Rebecca Donaldson, at least he could still, toss in a playful have mercy every once in a while.
I was in the first grade. Turned to my date and said, have mercy.
But, just having to be a dad, it did, I guess, give some funny moments, but they had already explored that when Uncle Joey and Uncle Jesse had to take care of the girls. So, having him have to be a dad didn't really break any new ground on that show. It just overcrowded it. The worst case of a potential pregnancy new baby ruining a show has to be when Will and Grace decided to procreate. And that's because here's a show that is applauded and held so high in regards to, just homosexual culture and having people be proud of it, and okay, this is really, they get it. And then all of a sudden it's basically like saying, oh, you can just choose to be into chicks again if you want.
Yeah.
Which is completely against the whole message.
The entire show.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's got to be the worst offense. We already brought up Andy from Family Ties. Mm-hmm. I mean, the actor himself, Brian Bonsall, and he's a train wreck now, but just an awful child actor. I mean, the way he would deliver his lines was so forced. And I mean, I think then he got a movie, Blank Check. Wasn't that him?
I remember Blank Check.
And I think it ruined him. I think he must have really got a blank check to sign a big hefty signing bonus, because he turned into like a damn meth head. He's human garbage now.
Wow. Okay.
And no discussion of this can be complete without the fact that on the show Soap, someone gave birth to the spawn of Satan.
Not to be confused with Mae Young giving birth to a hand on Raw.
Yes. Definitely one of the highlight moments of Raw 1000 when they had the grown-up adolescent hand in the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, that was not for everybody. If you weren't watching, you did not get it.
No, not at all. And they didn't even throw Mark Henry in to sort of help bridge the gap. It was just, here's mom and son.
But yes, the spawn of Satan. Yeah. Soap was incredibly underrated. It was an incredible show.
Absolutely. It was Arrested Development 25 years before Arrested Development.
Do you know I've still never seen an episode of Arrested Development?
Go do it quickly.
Okay, I'll do it.
The best thing about it is that my wife had never seen it either, and I always rave about it, and she actually got me the 3 seasons on DVD a few years ago, and I think it was one of those gifts, like I want to check this out, so I'll get it for you, and it'll be for you, but I'll get to watch it, kind of thing. and it was actually when she was pregnant, and we just blew through the entire run in probably 2 weeks, because you would just sit down and bang out 4 or 6 episodes a night. They're 25 minutes or something, and you just rip through it. But yeah, once you get going, it's addicting. I think it's kind of, for the sense of humor that you have, you would definitely appreciate it.
Okay, well, I'll definitely check it out. And everyone listening, please try to find a couple of episodes of Soap. You'll get a evil twin. You'll get Hitler. You'll get
alien abduction.
Yes.
You got Benson, and you got Benson.
Yeah, you get Benson. You get get some statutory.
Yeah, and the cast is just kind of a who's who. Like, it's almost like a Saturday Night Live cast or something.
Just about.
With Billy Crystal and
Mr. Mulligan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empty Nest.
Yeah.
Pre-Dreyfus.
Yes. It's definitely a must-see.
Well, I will tell you one more thing I want to mention is when Eclectic's dreams jumped the shark, and that has to be when Marcus Houston turned into imitation crab meat.
Listen, that is an authentic dream, and I am not ashamed to say, yes, Marcus Houston and I will rival mafia kingpins. And I was going to take him out, snuff him out style, and I had him cornered, and he ran around the corner to escape me. And when I went around the corner, he had on a fedora. And
that was his defense mechanism, was to turn into worst X-Men power ever.
Yes.
If you're in trouble, just concentrate, and you can turn into imitation crab meat.
He transformed into imitation crab meat, and the fedora was right next to the package.
Now, was it okay, you kind of just answered it. I was going to say, was it a Marcus Houston sized imitation crab meat that continued to fill out like his clothes and hat, or was it just he shrunk into like a little package that you'd find at the store, like a little 6x6 square?
It was. He had the Starscream Megatron size shrinkage on the transformation. He transformed to a authentic regulation size package of imitation.
So then
meat.
Someone would have to hold him, like Megatron has a gun. He
Exactly.
couldn't get around on his own. Oh,
No.
man. Well, can we quickly, since we're talking about Transformers, can anyone agree with me that jumped the shark when, and I know everyone loves the Dinobots and the Insecticons, but the whole premise of Transformers was robots in disguise, and they would try to blend into their surroundings as cars and trains and planes and vehicles. And, I got a good idea. You know how we can blend in? Let's transform into metal versions of creatures that have been extinct for thousands of years and just walk around. Or bugs that are 37 times bigger than the actual bug.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. Other than that god awful movie, but yes, that was the same point I've made for years. I'm like, the whole thing was, that's why Soundwave was a boombox. That was what people had back then, and right. Cars, and again, it's in the song, it's the title.
And Perceptor, and shout outs to Classic fooling his mom, saying he was doing his homework when he was playing with Perceptor as a microscope.
Yeah.
And his science homework. And so you're not a fan of the movie? Not a Rodimus Prime accepting Matrix fan?
Absolutely not. And for those of you listening, please go to eclectikrelaxation.com and read Unappreciation, the Transformers the movie.
That's right. I do remember that. That was one of your earliest posts.
Yeah, where I completely break down why that movie is ass. Now, I say all that to also say it is still the only Transformers movie that's ever been created, though.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So as much as I hate it, I will only recognize that as the one and true Transformers movie.
Okay. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole, we were supposed to be in disguise, and it's off-putting. Jump the shark. Worst case of main characters hooking up that ruins the show.
Well, Michael Knight and Kit, that was a little too graphic for young viewers.
Who put the antifreeze in my carburetor?
When they finally got it on.
I'm not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe, Michael.
We're not gonna fall for a banana in the tailpipe. You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
And they gave Turbo Boost a whole new meaning.
That's right.
That was inappropriate, but everybody always everybody mentions David and Maddie from Moonlighting. The tension was gone, and so were the ratings at that point. Mulder and Scully, I think, at the very end of that run, because even though Mulder left to be replaced by T2, he then came back, and they had him come for a few episodes, and then I think he did the whole last season. Rachel and Joey?
I wouldn't say that that's the worst offense. I still have, in my mind, the worst offense, and you haven't brought it up yet.
It didn't. All right, let me see if I can get to it. Rachel and Joey didn't ruin the show, but it was you did start to feel like, okay, like, how is Rachel not considered a huge whore now that she's just running through the group? But I guess you get a group of friends together that are that hot, and they see each other every day, and they live together. You're going to have that.
Basically, that's the story of UnderscoopFire.
That's right. Voltron. It's just so much incest. I don't know. That's one thing that the Law and Order franchise has been good about staying away from is their male-female partnerships, not hooking up Elliot and Stabler and Gorin and Eames. They've always, they don't even really. Occasionally they'll kind of hint at like an attraction, but I think that's what has helped those shows last so long, is they never went down those roads. I don't know. I got nothing. It bothers me now that there's one big one that I'm missing.
Oh, would you like for me to tell you, or would you like another second?
I have the same sick feeling right now as I had when Chris Hansen walked into the kitchen that one time.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
When I was just trying to leave my friend's house.
Shout out to brownies and lemonade.
Mike's Hard Lemonade and some dong bags. We were just gonna hang out, watch a movie.
Which turns into Howie's Hard Lemonade. Well, sir.
Send all hate mail about inappropriate content to podcast at eclecticrelaxation.com.
That is the email.
Also send fan mail. I've heard that there's some doozies in your inbox, and I would like for everyone to send them their thoughts on your show.
I have started to receive fan mail, and some are downright hilarious.
Good.
Now, my opinion, the worst case of main characters hooking up to ruin a show is Tony and Angela.
Oh, God, yes. Wow.
When they hooked up, who's the boss, ladies and gentlemen? When Tony and Angela hooked up, that just ruined everything.
I'm okay with the fact that they hooked up if they had done it like in the last episode or something. But then the fact that they tried to kind of carry on and have them be together, it was just all awkward and weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good point. God, I want to turn in my... You want me to turn in my TV card?
No, you can keep it. We got a couple of more things here.
All right.
What about On a Very Special Blossom? The very special episodes that that totally turned you off of a show, or the show just wasn't the same afterwards. Not including the bike show.
Yeah, I was gonna say that with the obvious, the last time that something was so obvious you knew what I was gonna say was Danny Cooksey. Now the king of them all is obviously Gordon Jump, mentioning things like, guys, you can have an awful lot of fun with your clothes off. It just still to this day, it's the king of special episodes.
Wine would go with the slice of pizza.
But they didn't shy away from him on that show. They had Nancy Reagan on the anti-drug episode. Which to me was a complete stunt And it's kind of like, oh well, if the first lady doesn't come to my school, and I'm not gonna listen to this local beat cop tell me not to do drugs. I need some serious firepower in here.
That's right. So give me the Crypt Keeper and a Kool-Aid Man outfit.
Special episodes. Do I remember correctly that on Home Improvement, Jonathan Taylor Thomas thought he might have cancer?
Yes, and it turned out he didn't. 9. But yeah, he thought he had the big casino. Saved by the Bell. You've got not just Jessie and her pills, but then when all those guys were trying to get Kelly Kapowski to come on, Kelly, it's just pot.
Dumb.
Stupid.
Crazy. Dangerous.
Stinks. In one word, would I use dope? Nope.
These kids are right. Drugs will hurt your mind, your body, and your life. Hi, I'm Brandon Tartikoff, chairman of NBC Entertainment. And I've got a hit idea for the new fall season. Don't do drugs.
There's no hope with dope.
Yeah. On the drug subject, Punky Brewster with the nose candy episode.
Are these drugs? Just some grass, a few uppers, and a little nose candy. Nose candy? Cocaine. My big brother gets us all kinds of stuff. We do them all the time. It's no big deal. It seems like a big deal to me. Why do you do it? 'Cause everybody does. Besides, it makes you feel happy and relaxed. But I'm already happy and relaxed. Aren't you, Cherry? Real happy, real relaxed. Don't be so uptight, okay? Come on, it really helps you tune out. I don't feel good about this. Stop acting like babies and start acting like chiclets.
Oh, yeah. And shout out to Marco.
Yep. Then obviously also on Punky Brewster, the whole trapped in the refrigerator episode.
Oh, Cherry, no.
Which
also segued into the CPR lesson, and Punky didn't really know CPR, but yes.
Yeah, no, not at all. There was something on Charles in Charge about fugitives. Does that ring a bell? Like they were harboring fugitives or something?
Oh my God.
Inadvertently aiding them. I don't remember. I just remember like Willie Ames busting in the door and like being all frantic and nervous and Scott Baio doing his
Buddy Lindbeck.
Yeah, exactly. Scott Baio doing his typical like, hand on the forehead, what are we gonna do type of. I don't know. We'll have to research that. If anybody has any further information on that, please tweet it to @podcastedp. Mr. Belvedere had their fair share. They had the Wesley Predator.
Wesley Owens, yep.
They had the mom was on some pills, trying to stay awake to do her grad school homework.
And to try to stay relevant on the show because she was useless.
Yes, and to try to keep up with Bob Uecker's witty banter.
Oh.
And then the kid with AIDS, and he comes in the door, and Uecker goes, "Hey, how are you?" And he goes, "Well, I got AIDS, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good."
Hi, Mr. Belvedere.
Hello, Danny.
Is Wesley here?
Yes, come on in. Everyone, you remember Wesley's friend, Danny?
Oh, hi, Danny. Hi, Mrs. Owens, Mr. Owens.
Hiya, champ. How's it going?
Well, I got AIDS, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, just that.
What the hell? Facts of Life had an equally awkward moment when the girl, the guest star, gives the line, "I'm not drunk, I have cerebral palsy."
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Jerry.
Yep.
Yeah, she's still working.
Nice. Webster burning down the house.
Yeah, love that song.
Thing is, at the time, everybody was pounding into our heads as kids to do the stop, drop, and roll.
Mm-hmm.
But Webster was so short he could just stop and roll.
Oh, no.
Jim J. Bullock definitely got raped by two women.
In a van.
Close for comfort. And as much as it's supposed to be a very special episode, Ted Knight's character just makes fun of him the whole time about it.
Oh, and they added a laugh track.
Yeah. William B. West? He blogged about this, and it was very funny. He made some good points about this episode. I had forgotten about it. I read about it on his site a while back. But
well, it's also a focus, or at least a part of the highest rated episode of the EDP, TGIF versus
Synergy.
And it's on the. I think the YouTube clip is on the top 50 sitcoms of the 80s on eclectikrelaxation.com. Anyway.
Well done. Look at that. Tie it up. Like a lasso.
That's right.
DJ had an eating disorder on Full House.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when she had said eating disorder, was that also... That had to be a different episode when she was on the treadmill saying, I must increase my bust.
I thought that was Punky Brewster.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow, that wish came true for her, huh?
Did it? If that was her, 12-fold.
Yeah. Family Matters. Didn't Urkel get, hampered and fall off a roof at a party or something?
Well, he almost did, because that was the same, was that the same episodes or the same party where he debuted the Urkel dance?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because they spiked his punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after he broke it down, after he showed those bitches how to do the dance, then he was all wasted, and he was basically gonna Pee Wee Herman tequila off the ledge.
He did. That is what he was doing, the Pee Wee Herman tequila. And then another very special episode that I remember actually kind of choking me up in the day was when the Fresh Prince's dad came back in the picture.
Oh.
And he was not having it.
No.
And he makes a big speech about how he doesn't need his dad, and he's gonna have his own wife and kids, and he's gonna love his kids more than his dad ever loved him.
Sorry, if there was something that I
Hey, you know what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, Ain't like I'm going to be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil? Got through my first day without him, right? I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him!
I mean, it's actually pretty, for this conversation we're having, and for as much of these that were awkward and just bad and uncomfortable, that's actually pretty good.
On a very special Howie Decker.
Yeah, I cried to the Fresh Prince.
Yes.
He had barely tipped the cabbie, and I was already breaking down.
Oh. Anyway, you also had the Doobie Brothers episode of What's Happening.
Yeah, that was so special. Didn't they rip off their music inadvertently or something?
Yeah, Rerun had a gigantic tape recorder in his coat in the summer and was recording a bootleg, and it fell out, and the Doobie Brothers weren't happy about it.
Awesome. He had an Atari 7800 under his coat.
Yeah. With controllers and cartridges.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Ask me anything.
In your opinion, when did the UnderscoopFire podcast jump the shark? Because I can tell you when EDP jumped the shark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not what we signed up for. But
would you like
all criticism. Let me answer your question first. Let me get that out the way so I can brace myself for the bad news. I'm gonna say, I would have said that the UnderscoopFire podcast have never jumped the shark.
You ain't lying.
Well, we can say, and what I'm going to say for yours is that it jumped, but then jumped back to good. So this is not a shark jumping in that it has come to an end and it's not good now.
Good, jump back. All right, good.
It's a jump and a quick jump right back.
All right, so I'm gonna say UnderscoopFire jump back. It did the moonwalk, backwards bunny hop, X game style. Slightly before yoga. No, we had the entertainment row. We had Sweeps Week. We had Sweeps Week on UnderscoopFire. So we had the animal. We had the micro. We had the yoga. You know, this was when we were trying to get the ratings, and it was Sweeps Week or Sweeps Month. Scoops. It was Scoops. It was Scoops. And so
Scoops.
And so, you know, it went down, and I was listening. I was like, okay, you know, you got an excellent promo from the guy, which kicked ass.
Micro Machines guy. Yeah.
I'm jealous of that.
If nothing else, yeah.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. And then George the Animal, as a wrestling fan, I was like, you know, this is. I didn't know about the Redskins thing, and it was incredible. Andre the Giant, I didn't know, so I was like, okay, I love it.
Yeah.
But I could have read this somewhere. I didn't really need this on my scoop because I need Voltron.
Right. And I appreciate that. And I remember you saying that at the time, and I like that. It actually was one of the reasons that we did the next episode after that was titled Back to Basics. And part of it was because of feedback like that, where people were like, well, you know, I could hear this on somebody that does a serious show, and I listen to you because you talk about dick slams and Herbie jerks.
I love Herbie jerks. Oh, and hand jabbers.
Right. So yeah, I could see that. It's sort of a 3-episode anomaly out of 44, where it's like this little, and it just is. It's total chance that they're all 3 back to back.
That's all it was.
Yeah, so it's almost like okay, from here on out, they're just going to have guests, and they're actually ramping up. But no, it was just like this little short burst of luck from Hail Mary and tossing up bombs in the end zone and getting 3 guests, and we just didn't know what to do with them. We had no experience interviewing people.
Should have made them fight each other.
We had a different crew on each show. I mean, there was it's just hard. Like, you know, we're not classically trained. We're not Vin Scullys. We're not all Vin Scullys.
We all can't be.
Exactly. So we struggle with that. But at least everybody got to hear about our past and present fitness regimen.
Yeah, I think the yoga episode is the only, and let the record show, I went back into the archives, and I've listened to every UnderscoopFire show.
Oh God, some of the first ones are just...
Yeah, they're a little dreadful, but they were still entertaining. The yoga one is the only one in the history of my scoopage that I did not finish. I could not finish.
Yeah. In retrospect, we've said if we ever do get anybody again, we're just ahead of time going to say, listen, we have to do this our way. We're going to say some silly stuff that you might be offended by or think is stupid, but too late. You're already on recording. And it, you know, we even said afterwards, we should have just played it the way we always do. And if the guest was like, wow, I gotta go, you guys are just stupid, then like we'd have that on tape. Yes. Yeah, that would be amazing. Like the night Diamond Dallas Page walked out on us because, you know, we said dick slam 10 times or something. So
yes. Okay, now when did my show jump? When did the EDP hop on the skis and head towards that shark?
On the NES show.
Oh Jesus, very recent.
When question number 5 of the 5th.
Oh no.
Involved giraffe urine and a slip and slide, but no nudity and no pay-per-view. At that moment, the typical and characteristic high quality of the 5th question of the 5th, in which all holds are unbarred and all bets are off. And I had I had sort of become accustomed to nudity and pay-per-view. And to me, you can't have someone engage in a giraffe piss slip and slide in their clothes and not on pay-per-view. It just doesn't make sense.
I thought that I thought that he only had on like a headband or something.
I don't know. I think if that is the case, I think it's because
It was not on pay-per-view though.
It evolved to that, but I've gotten accustomed to hearing, here's stipulation A, here's the twist, here's who it's versus, here's the setting. Oh, and by the way, you're naked and it's on pay-per-view. And it just didn't happen for me. So I thought for a second you were trying to go straight edge. I thought that was your DDP moment.
Yeah, I was going straight. I was trying to, straighten up, and you caught me on it.
Thought you were trying to appeal to the masses, the mainstream.
The little jammies.
Maybe you heard rumblings that Yahoo was going to buy you out or something, and they wanted to clean it up a little bit. I don't know.
I heard Eclectik sold the EDP for $10
to Yahoo because they're in the business of buying podcasts.
Yeah. and if you go on this website now, it redirects you to a recipe site that shows you how to make Rice Krispie treats with Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, it redirects you to tvguide.com/jumptheshark/EDP
/ no nudity on public access TV.
Excellent.
You know what? I think we should move past the special episodes into something slightly more closer to home. Cartoons. Cartoons jumping the shark. Thundercats. Thundercats jump the shark?
That's one
Or Leap the Leopard.
I can't pinpoint a moment when they did. Now you're talking about the classic version.
Yeah, we're talking
what's on now.
Yeah, we're talking OC original Cats.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the little furball bear robot.
The burbles.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of those, but I can see how people might say it didn't jump the shark.
Yeah, if they had entered the cast as regulars and now they had the cats and a couple robot teddy bears with them every ep, like Snarf, I would have been highly offended. But just their one little story arc, and I think they came back a little bit from time to time, I was all right with.
Can you think of any cartoons other than Transformers?
From day one, no one recognizing He-Man as Prince Adam. That's as close to shark jumping as possible. I mean, at least Clark
or
Kent.
Shark Shumping.
Shark Shumping. The Dark Knight Rises. Just, put on some glasses or a hat. You got a visor laying around. So, I mean...
In his defense, in Prince Adam's defense, He-Man has a very deep snooky tan.
Yeah, he does.
Prince Adam is Seamus Pasty.
Yeah, that's true. And a voice that echoed throughout the land.
Yes, and he still punches every little kid in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, right in the face. In G.I. Joe, a lot of people say Serpentor was the jump the shark moment, but I kind of like... I mean, it did take it from a show that was just about, a military anti-terrorist team to kind of into more sci-fi realm. But I always personally like those aspects of it, like Zartan and the unexplainable stuff. So that's not a jump the shark moment for me. I know a lot of people think that though.
Well, as a Cobra Commander fan, and I hate Serpentor, I still wouldn't say it. The journey to create Serpentor was great TV.
It was, absolutely. All those old world leaders and
why isn't that
strategists
the plot of the new movie?
Oh my, exactly. There's such a rich history with all the weather dominators and things that they've done. That
Pyramid of Darkness, the mass device.
No, I got an idea though. Let's have Duke used to be engaged to Baroness, and she's Cobra Commander's sister. Yep, done. Let's do that. And then in M.A.S.K, when season 2 was just the whole show was set basically on a racetrack, and M.A.S.K and Venom just raced each other. They were no longer battling with guns, and they just raced.
Yeah, when M.A.S.K turned into the end of Grease 1, it went all bad.
Exactly. That's like, I mean, what they did there is the equivalent of if halfway through WrestleMania 3, they were just like, you know what, Hogan and Andre, let's just finish this with skee ball.
Yes.
Skip the body slam and the leg drop. Let's go throw some wooden balls into these little white circles and see who can win this thing.
Or whack-a-mole.
Yeah, I'll take that. Although Andre would just crush those things.
Yeah.
He's probably slow as balls though, so he probably wouldn't even get one.
Come on, that guy had a lot of pep in his step when he approached the Honeycomb Hideout in that commercial.
Yeah, he did. That's true. Quickest I ever saw him move.
One of the only cartoons I can think of is that weird 70s version of Tom and Jerry, where they were all herky and jerky and it had no sound. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it was a couple of seasons of Tom and Jerry where it was just terrible.
Weren't they friends too for a while?
They were friends later on when it completely jumped the shark. They were buddies and taking up for each other. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had they would team up against the dog.
Yeah. Get out. Yeah, we don't
that's
like
garbage.
That. Oh, of course, Scrappy Doo.
Uncle Scooby? Hi, I'm Scrappy.
Yeah, people say Scrappy is one of the worst additions to a show ever.
Yeah, he jumped the Scoob.
Yeah, he did jump the Scoob.
I can't think of any other cartoons off the top.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with cartoons. The Smurfs, didn't they bring in a bunch of... Well, I remember that they had the baby, the young Smurfs.
Yeah, they had Baby Smurf and Sassette, but I like Sassette. She had freckles.
But, yeah, I mean, the characters were fine, but Smurfette was never pregnant, and there's no other... I mean, what, do they just grow out of the ground? They are 3 apples high.
Well, they are. They're brought by storks. Everyone knows this.
Oh, that's true.
And everyone knows that Gargamel created Smurfette.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Did the fact that they were proclaimed as 3 apples high ever bother you because previously to hearing that you had pictured them much smaller?
Only because I pictured those houses to be actual mushrooms.
Yeah, me too. And I pictured the figures, or the Smurfs, the size of the actual figures that you used to be able to buy at Hallmark.
Yeah, not the size of a modem or a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, exactly, a modem.
Yes, that's right.
Shout outs to Dial-Up.
Yeah, not the size of...
Dial-Up Smurf.
Yes. 100-hour disc Smurf.
Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't think they were the size of Zach Morris's phone.
The brick.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break here, and then, sir, after this, how about the 5th?
I would love to.
Oh, in that case, we'll be back.
Can I kick it? 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 Well, I'm gone. Can I kick it? To all the people who can quest like a tribe does. Before this, did you really know what I was? Comprehend to the track force, why? Cause getting mentions on the tip of the vibe buzz. Rock and roll to the beat of the funk fuzz. Wipe your feet really good on the rhythm rug. If you feel the urge to freak, do the jitterbug. Come and spread your arms if you really need a hug. Afrocentric living is a big shrug. A life filled with, that's what I love. A lower plateau is what we're above. If you diss us, we won't even think of.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
You know, a lot of people say that Danny Tanner was gay, the character. If you don't know, that was the character on Full House, that he was gay. And I say, I don't think so. All right, maybe, but I don't know. But I needed a mission statement that could be like the banner that I would wear proudly, you know? So this is my scarlet letter. This is a song called Danny Tanner Was Not Gay. And And I needed a tune worthy of such a statement. So I went to the greatest composers of our time, the Backstreet Boys. They're fucking awesome. And they are back, and they are street, and they are boys, and they are men. And they rock my fucking world. And I got one of their cell numbers, and I won't say which one, but he's awesome. So here's a song, and it's called Danny Tanner Was Not Gay. It's opposite day. And here we go. And thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. Best friends forever. We're here on a Friday or Tuesday, whatever the fucking day it is. This guitar's from eBay. I've heard some of you say, but Danny Tanner was not gay. Tell me why they lived in San Francisco. Tell me why they went through lots of Crisco. Tell me why I never slept with Dave Coulier, but Kimmy Gibbler got it this way. No, that ain't right. It was more like, I don't remember. I was all on Comtrex. After 8 years with them, in a house with 2 men, they were my second family. The last show shed a tear, then Stamos grabbed at my rear, and Uncle Jesse was inside of me. Sorry, he likes that lyric. He's fucked up. Sometimes the show wasn't that funny, but fuck you, made lots of money. Yeah, good values. But I gave half to my ex-wife anyway. Would have been cheaper if I had been gay. Tell me why some people called me faggot. Tell me why. Maybe because my last name's... Thank you. I changed it. It used to be somosexual, but I changed it. Tell me why I suck dick for coke, but that's not to say I seen him. But that doesn't mean Danny Tanner could be gay. Oh, Danny Tanner was not gay. Like Dave Coulier.
Back to the show. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Welcome back to the EDP, Eclectic Discussion Podcast. I'm Eclectic. It's 9 o'clock right now. I'm here with the founder and editor and maybe webmaster of UnderscoopFire.com.
Sex trafficker.
Sex trafficker. Registered sex scooper. Howie Decker, the Black Lion. He's a torso in the head. And we're discussing when shows went bad, when they jumped the shark, TV shows, cartoons. We might even get to movies later if you stick around. But for now, it's time for the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time for the fifth.
You ready, sir?
Born ready.
Roadhouse. Question number 1. Name a series that should still be on air. It was canceled. They took it away. You woke up and it was no longer there, but it should still be on TV.
Yep. A few months ago, this was an easy answer for me, because I would have said Arrested Development, but that has been resurrected from the dead and is coming back. So, since I can't say that, I will say that I'm actually surprised that NBC hasn't thrown a boatload of money at Betty White for a show called The Golden Girl. because the Betty White renaissance has been huge for so long, and they have her on that show, Betty White's Off Her Rocker, so that proves they have her, and it also, she's on Hot in Cleveland, so she's still in the mood to do sitcoms. I'm actually surprised. Now, I'm not saying it's a good idea and that we'd like it, but I'm actually surprised that they haven't had her reprised and just have The Adventures of Rose, and for a ratings boost, throw on a Richard Mulligan cameo here and there and that type of stuff.
Oh, and a little bit of David Leisure.
Oh yeah, and Cheadle from Golden Palace.
Exactly. Some War Machine action.
Exactly, but have him as War Machine.
Yes, I mean
do
they have
a
to
Marvel tie, a Golden Girls Marvel tie-in. I love it. Done. Yeah. Why don't they do this?
It's like
Rosen Island and War Machine, tearing through the streets of Miami, and then they would encounter the bath salts zombie guy because that was in Miami, and he'd be eating some face, and Betty White would say, "Stop that, sir," and he would come after her, and right then War Machine would swoop in and blow the shit out of him.
Yeah, I like that. The Marvel time.
On this week's Golden Girl.
You have Black Widow and just Widow.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Dr. Harry Weston and Dr. Strange.
The St. Olaf reactor. Okay.
Exactly.
Question number 2. What current show that you enjoy you think potentially could or is close to jumping the shark?
I hate to say it because I love the show and I try to convince people, shout outs to Corey Chapman who haven't seen it, to watch it.
No girl.
And that is Fringe.
Oh, Fringe, technically. Now, if you count the cartoon episode, or if you count the 3 episode arc where Jackal Face Olivia talked like Leonard Nimoy.
Jackal Face. She did a hell of a Nimoy. My thing is that it, and I still watch it, and I'm
Me too. I've seen every episode.
However, the fact that in the alternate universe, pretty much everybody holds the same position as they hold here. I mean, you mean to tell me, like, it's one thing if they're just ingrained in their DNA that that's the kind of work they want to get into, but you mean like the position was always open, there was never anybody ahead of you that got it, nobody else
except for Walter.
Job. Yeah, except Walter.
Nick.
But everybody else that works at that, Fringe division has the same job. It just bothers me.
And
like,
the same personality.
They never really, either make a joke out of it or address it either. It just is the way it is. They just have the same jobs. But the Statue of Liberty is copper, so we're good.
Yeah, and the Hindenburg is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
And the framed comic book cover on the wall is Red Lantern instead of Green Lantern, so we're safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Even though Red Lantern is an actual comic book title here, so it's like they're trying to appeal to the geeks there, and the real geeks are like, doesn't work. Sorry.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I agree, but I don't like Olivia. She has a permanent cry face.
Yeah, you called her Jackal Face. I think Anna Torv is pretty hot, but I see what you mean. I see what you mean. She's got what is she, Australian or British?
Yeah. It's like ground turkey in the face. I don't like it. Question number 3. If you could star on any show on the air right now, what show and what would your role be? Whether it's an existing character or you make up your own role on the show.
I think I would be a very fitting person to turn out to be the big reveal and be the mother on How I Met Your Mother. Either that or zombie number 4 on an episode of The Walking Dead.
Zombie number 4. Now that's a tough. I think that's a tough role. I've never
Not
seen
to be
the show,
confused with Mambo number 5. God. Shout outs to Lou Bega. Why? I gotta stop. I'm sorry.
Shout outs to Monica.
A little bit of Monica is never gonna hurt anybody.
Lewinsky?
Oh God. I'm sorry I broke your podcast.
Question number 4. All right, now listen. I'm gonna need you to
I can't even keep. Sorry, go ahead.
I said nothing funny. I don't know what you're doing over there. I just need you to put your thinking cap on. I need you to think this through, because I don't want you to just give a rash answer. I want you to systematically think this through to get the correct answer, or the answer that you think. Anyway. All right. So, question number 4. Howie, Corey, Googs, Tansky. Okay?
Mm-hmm. No Joe?
No Joe.
Okay.
Howard, Corey, Chris and Chris.
Yeah.
4 corners, mixed tag match with the wives.
Oh.
Who wins? You and your wife, Corey and his wife, Googs and his wife, Tank and his wife, mixed tag, 4 corners match. Kid interference is legal.
Wow. Damn. Well, as soon as you said that, I had initially gave the slight edge to Team Chapman because he has 3 kids, whereas Team Googs has 0, Team Decker has 1, Team Tansky has 2.
You're also going, you're thinking this as if to say the kids would interfere in favor of their parents, which might not be the case because of maybe some punishment, maybe some bad dinner, maybe a toy wasn't purchased.
Exactly. Well, while I can say that the toy not being purchased would not affect Team Tansky's relationship, because Tank's son is the luckiest kid in the world because his dad is so into toys that he gets anything he wants, not because he's spoiled, but because Tank's like, oh, I want this Lego set, so I'll get it for my son and I'll help him put it together.
And maybe one of Corey's kids would cheat for Tansky to win, so maybe he could be in good favor and come over and play with a toy. Maybe you never know. That's why I said you got to think this through. And the wife factor.
Right. Well, the first thing I started to think of is spousal ferocity.
Yes.
And in that regard, Corey does have a fairly athletic wife who is she's currently on a softball team, and she's a teacher, so she's used to the battlefield environment every day.
Maybe some top rope theatrics, a hurricanrana,
hurricanrana. Now, my wife is currently in training to try to embark on her first 5K. So she is fit, but don't let her fool you. She's not remotely athletic.
So maybe ground and pound, maybe a submission. Maybe.
No high flying moves. Yeah, a lot of mat work. A ring technician.
Maybe a Decker crab.
She's the worst there is, the worst there was, and the worst there ever will be. A Decker crab. So, if the wives, with some advantages, basically cancel each other out, and at this point, I don't see any reason or glaring deficiencies where a wife would turn on her partner, although it is possible. Big time swerve. I think
maybe a forgotten anniversary, maybe you were late for something.
one of two things happens here. One, the Tansky children pull the Montreal screw job on their parents and aid Team Decker in winning because the Tansky children are quite fond of the Black Voltron line, if I do say so for myself. They clamor for a Decker appearance, much like your listeners. They want nothing more than for me to come over. And you know what? I'm not saying this to be, I'm joking around, but I have a great time with Tansky's kids, and he's got sort of the older set of, he was the first one to go down that road and have kids. So like his son actually just turned 11 today, ironically. So, you know, he is like, I'm on that level maturity wise. I'm about 11. Yeah. So when I go over there, I have a great time with him and his little sister. So I think they're gonna turn, not because they don't want their parents to win, but because they're so pro Decker. Now, option B that could happen is Joe and his wife all of a sudden come down to ringside, and you think they're just there to get a front row seat, but they are angry that they're not involved in the match. And I think, if anything, for familiarity's sake, they would interfere and help the Chapmans win. Joe and Corey have a special bond, the likes of which is rarely matched. And I think, if anything, that the Team Zakari would come in and aid Team Chapman in the victory. But all the kids would interfere, so it would be a complete Royal Rumble mess.
I like it.
Can pets interfere too?
Yes.
All right. That's another show.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Because Corey Chapman's dog Louie once jumped up on my lap and pissed on my pocket.
Pissy pocket.
Pissed right on my jeans pocket, right on my pocket. Piss pockets.
I like that. And if you had no money in there, that would make you piss poor.
Well, I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Question.
Wait, we're all naked too, right?
Well, and yeah, except for the kids, because
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, never mind. Yeah. That's the third Chris Hansen visit on this episode.
Yeah. If kids were not legal, there would be fruit by the foot and yogurt involved.
You know what? Let me actually arrange this to really happen, and give me about 11 days, and I'll get back to you. We'll construct a ring, and I'll get the wives, and we'll actually do this.
And at the bare minimum, what I want from you is order of elimination.
Okay. Yeah. How about we'll video tape it for you?
Yes.
Or at least I'll audio record it with the same tape recorder that they used to record the Doobie Brothers on What's Happening. All right. Done.
Question number 5. Now maybe the 4 should have been the 5th question.
That was a doozy of a 4.
All right, I tried. Question number 5. What would you rather do? Watch a pornographic 3-way featuring Betty White, Cloris Leachman, and Clint Eastwood. Or a last man standing, completely naked pop locking contest between Joe Zakari and Chris Kadowski. With the caveat Yes, with the caveat that whichever one you pick, you will eventually be tagged in to participate. And of course, the last man standing naked pop locking contest between Joe Zakari and Chris Gadowski is on pay-per-view.
Of course, because you've jumped back on the chart. Did you say that the last man standing naked pop locking contest is also that they're greased up, or did I just imagine that?
Well, you imagined it, but in both scenarios, the three-way porn and the pot locking contest, they're both greased up. The Betty White, Cloris Leachman, Clint Eastwood situation is peanut oil, while the Joe Zakari and Chris Gadowski is extra virgin olive oil.
Oh. All right. Well, right off the bat, peanut oil does not mix well with Ben Gay, so that is going to be that's going to stink. I've got a bit of a problem not watching my buddies dance off naked, but being tagged in.
Yes.
But I think I have a bigger problem with Clint Eastwood extending the hand, looking for the tag.
That's not a hand.
Because he's being taxed by Betty and Cloris, and he needs help. I don't want to be there. There's a lot of, there was a lot said about, there was a Betty White sex tape from when she was young. Did you ever read all that? And it said there's pin-up pictures and stuff. And if you Google it, I Googled it. Stop judging me. It's not good. I don't know if there's really a tape or not, but there's a picture that looks like a young Betty White, and it's pin-up, and you think that it would be classy and hot. But it's not. She's honestly somehow hotter as an old lady than she was when she was in her prime. So she's in her prime now. I got a heart. I'm just basically talking in circles because I don't want to do either of these things.
You have to.
I'm hoping that you're going to have mercy on me and I can have a third option of bumping into Adele or something. I mean...
Absolutely not.
Oh, God. All right. I'd be scarred for life to have to take part in this Betty, Cloris, Clint triumvirate, and I've seen most of my friends naked before. No homo.
I think there's a skosh of homo.
I realize and I respect the fact that in the single-digit episodes of the Cold Slither podcast, we put a moratorium on using no homo, and I'm with you on that, but I couldn't not say it there after I said I've seen all my friends naked.
Yes, recently.
God, still talking in circles. Is this over? Oh, we're out of time.
Oh, it looks like we have plenty of time.
Oh, all right. Can I get a Sting running or something? Is he up in the rafters with a bat? Sting?
Absolutely not.
Nobody's.
And again, if you're tagged in to the naked pop locking contest, please be reminded that it's a last man standing.
Yeah, it's not a quick, a quick I give up or I knock you out. Yeah, it's gonna take 60 minutes, right?
You pop lock until you drop.
I mean, that's just physically taxing.
Hey.
Whereas...
Do the slow robot, but you could be physically taxing some Cloris Leachman as well.
Oh, God. I guess I could go for that and just... because I have heard... I'm a student of the game, Key, I want you to know. And I listen, and I've taken notes on everybody's fifth answers. Mm-hmm. And I know that people have... broken things down and said, well, at least I get to take part in this event with a celebrity and maybe I'll get something out of it. And in most cases, they won't.
Also, Mr. Decker, understand that it is not a guarantee that Clint would be the one to tag you in.
All right, you just made my decision for me. So, based on the fact that let's compare them side by side. There's nudity in both.
Yes.
There's
an age difference.
Body oil in both. In one scenario, there's sex with people I don't want to have sex with, men and women. And in not that there's anything wrong with that, but in the other scenario, it's just naked dancing. And as awful and as embarrassing and as physically taxing as that is, I'm going to go with the naked, greased up, last man standing pop and lock contest.
That let the record show you did not want to make a decision here.
That's got to be. I mean, you just didn't give me an out at all. There's no redeeming qualities in either one of those options.
Trust me, there's definitely going to be some out.
Oh
wow!
I'm literally winded right now. Like I'm hunched over. I'm spent. I got nothing.
Well, you did a good job there, and I thank you for answering the question. Of course, since you've been on the show, you know that this is the point of the show where I give my guests the opportunity to do plugs and shout outs and say how great my show is, and any other things that you would like to say. So take this time to catch your breath and do those things.
Well, all I want to say is suck it, Spinderella.
Oh, no.
That's all I want to say. No, I love the show. I can't get enough of it. I've been as much as we joke about the word clamoring, we've been you and I think have both been clamoring to try to do more collaborations together. We're going to have you back to the UnderscoopFire Podcast soon. It'll be your third or fourth appearance, I think.
I think it's my second.
Oh, well, you got the wrestling draft and the Scooper Gories. It's at least the third. Anyway, it's always an honor, always a pleasure. I had a great time. We don't always have to talk TV. We can talk about our favorite National Geographic issues. Maybe next time. You like that magazine? Pick nice pictures?
Retweet.
Retweet? But yeah, you can find me on underscoopfire.com with all the aforementioned guys and people that we talked about, being Joe and Corey and Googs and Tank and Hail Mary and everybody that you've so graciously hosted on your show, and I think we got a nice little partnership going here.
Indeed. So I appreciate that, and of course the eclectik Lost Cast is forthcoming, and anything else that we think of. So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, we're feeling and pelvic thrust and Cinderella spins, Mr. Howie Decker.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here's some ice cream cakes that only Carvel makes. They're made fresh every day, 'cause that's the Carvel way. And while you're at the store, see Cookie Puss and more. And don't forget about Hug Me the Bear.
The friendliest bear.
Your participating Carvel dealer also has Hug Me the Bear and Cookie Puss dolls. You'll love them. Thank you. Back to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the show, everybody. I'd like to take this time to thank my guest, Mr. Howard Decker, at Howard the Deck on Twitter. I'm sure the convo and the laughs will continue after everyone leaves, so the OT will probably be all kinds of awesome. So what have we learned today? We learned to steer clear of Rakes. Having AIDS will not ruin your day, if you're asked. If anyone you know has pills, read the label, or better yet, don't take them. If for some reason a male maid moves into your place, don't let them get with your mother. It'll ruin everything after that. Sanka is an awful deterrent for rape. You want to pour that up as an alternative. No one likes Sam. Duke blood won't prevent you from being lame. Being a lame replacement. Scrappy don't. You get shot. We learned that rotisserie with Clint Eastwood and Cloris Leachman might be a little much for a lightweight, Howard. We learned that women with ground turkey faces do excellent Spock impersonations. We learned a bunch of shit. Re-listen to the show and the stuff that you pick up on, leave in the comments, tweet it out. Let me know what you think of the show. At this point, I hit my top 5. Again, everybody's favorite segment. Today's top 5 are the top 5 black and white cop duos. So when your buddy flicks, TV shows where they always pair a black guy and a white guy together, this is my top 5 pairings. So number 5, Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines and Running Scared. So you got Ray Hughes and Dan Costanzo. Good movie. Okay, it was a fair movie. It had its funny parts. You should check that out if you get really bored. Number 4, Jimmy McNulty and Bunk Moreland from The Wire. So, you gotta watch The Wire. You'll see how they interact with each other. It's pretty damn good. No shout outs to the 4th and 5th season of The Wire. Number 3, Eddie Murphy and Judge Reinhold. Gotta get down with some Beverly Hills Cop. And we'll go with Beverly Hills Cop 1. We can go 2, but we'll go 1 for this. Number 2, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. It has to be Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. The Lethal Weapon series, incredible series, and so it's only one other duo that could top them. And number 1, second time he's on the list, Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, 48 Hours. Now, technically, they're not both cops, but he did have a badge, and he was the new sheriff in town. And since it's my list, I say that's good enough. You can put some other people in there, and by all means, if you don't like the list, leave me some comments and tell me who should be on the list. But that's mine, and I'm sticking to it. Take that. So let's wrap this joint up here. Check out the show on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio. If you use Stitcher, hit the thumbs up button on your phone. Hit the thumbs up on the computer if you're listening to it on Stitcher. Hit the tweet button. Let everybody know what you're listening to. You're listening to me. iTunes, leave a review. If you don't want to leave a review, don't. But it'd be nice. I'll read them on air. That's how it goes down. And you can also listen to the show on eclectikrelaxation.com. So you can listen to it and download it from there. If my show needs to be posted somewhere else, let me know, and I'll see about it. So stream, share, download, love, feed, hug, pet, call him George, do whatever with the shows. I appreciate that. on the website on eclectikrelaxation.com. The latest post besides this show is the top 7 worst TV wives. I went through what I thought was the worst wives on TV. Not based on looks, but just despicableness. Just who were awful and ungrateful and just terrible women. So top 7's up there. Not going to spoil it on the show. Go to the website, check it out, eclectikrelaxation.com. Again, if you're listening and like the show, send an email. The official email of the Eclectic Discussion Podcast is podcast@eclectikrelaxation.com. So that's ECLECTIK, by the way. Let me know what you think, what you like to hear, what you don't want to hear, who you hate to hear, even if it's me. Guess you want to see back, guess you don't want to see back. I'm going to take the listener survey on the website down soon. I might replace it with another one shortly, but check that out while it's there. Anyway, the next show will be here before you know it, and who knows what it'll be about, but trust me, it'll be dope. It'll be me talking about something that happened a long time ago and something that's, random. So I want to thank Howie again and the official EDP announcer Devin.
You're listening to Eclectic.
So until the next time, Devin.
Appreciation.
Appreciation.
With your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover.